A little bit.
Oh, that didn't.
Live.
Yeah, I gotta wait.
Well, Stephanie, I'm out here on Canal Street. The fire at the complex right behind me. There is going to be a news conference that's going to start right now here in San Rafael. Let's listen to the officials as they tell us the latest on this.
Hello, my name is Sergeant Justin Graham. I'm with the San Rafael Police Department, and I'm joined by my fellow first responders. This press briefing is to discuss the fire that you see behind me that occurred at 519 Canal Street. I'm going to start by introducing Deputy Chief Robert Sinnott.
Good afternoon. To recap from this morning's news conference, this fire was reported at approximately 5:36 a.m. It's a 3-story apartment building, wood frame, with 19 living units. Approximately 55 people were residing here at the time of the fire. Upon arrival of the first fire units, they found the building to be nearly fully involved in fire, with residents fleeing, some jumping out of windows or upper story balconies. San Rafael police, who arrived simultaneously with us, were instrumental in assisting with evacuations. We're grateful to them. Firefighters first focused on ensuring that everyone was safe and out of the building. They did their best to ensure that. The next objective was to contain this fire to the building of origin. As I mentioned, upon arrival, the building was nearly fully involved. So the objective is to protect the buildings on either side from damage. That was the next objective. Third objective was extinguishment, confinement, control. It took about an hour or so to get this fire under control. Then they went into an extensive overhaul and mop-up mode. No firefighters were injured at this fire. Unfortunately, we had 8 patients or 8 civilians, residents, who were injured. One was transported immediately to the hospital with more serious injuries. That person is stable at the hospital. 3 other patients were transported with minor injuries. They were treated at a local hospital and released. Others who had minor injuries were treated at the scene and released. At this point, I'm going to turn it over to Deputy Director of Emergency Management, Quinn Gardner.
Good afternoon. As the fire behind us is contained, our focus shifts to making sure the residents that have been displaced have their needs met. So we have an evacuation center currently opened at 50 Canal Street, our Borough Community Center. We're asking the public to hold off on any physical donations. If you wish to donate cash or gift cards, you can do so through the Canal Alliance website or visiting them at their 91 Larkspur address. That'll help us make sure residents are able to get exact items that they need as they face a long recovery. We will be opening an overnight shelter for the residents displaced to assure everyone has a safe space to sleep tonight. And I believe we can turn it back over and take any questions.
Give me one just moment. So I do want to clarify. I understand many of you have done some interviews. Currently, we have 2 people that are currently missing, and we are making every effort to try to locate them. In fact, if they're listening to this broadcast and you haven't checked in with family or us, please contact either the San Rafael Police Department or the San Rafael Fire Department to let us know that you're okay. But we are actively working to locate at least 2 individuals that are currently missing from this incident. With that, we'll go ahead and field some questions.
Did anyone see these individuals earlier today or last night?
We are currently working on that, trying to figure out any background and seeing if it's just they were never here or what's going on with them. But our investigators are taking a deep dive into getting those questions answered.
Can you tell us where it appears the fire started, and also who the owner is, and when the last time was this building was inspected?
Yes. So this building, as with all other apartment buildings in San Rafael, receive an annual fire inspection. This building was last inspected in July of 2025. It passes inspection. I do not have owner information at this time. I would also like to note, I failed to mention earlier in my report, that the Marin County Fire Investigation Team has been on scene for several hours. They've started a very robust investigation. They will call in as many resources as they need, additional local resources, state or federal resources, in order to help determine the cause of the fire.
And did it start on this side or the other side, do you know yet?
We do not know. As I mentioned, the first arriving fire units and PD units reported that the building was nearly fully involved upon our arrival. Just to note again, I might have mentioned this earlier, we have 3 fire stations within a mile of this site. There was no delay in response whatsoever. The response was immediate based on the 911 calls that came in. We have plenty of water supply in this area. And again, we had PD assisting with evacuation, so we had an immediate response and convergence. We also have a very robust mutual aid system in Marin County. We called in units from all over Marin to assist us. So we had multiple resources on scene in order to fight this fire.
Deputy Chief, can you talk about how the fire boats played such a
Yes.
role, especially
Thank you.
as people were jumping from the back balconies?
Thank you. An important point that I mentioned at our earlier press conference, San Rafael does have a fireboat that was staffed and deployed. It came up the canal, which is directly behind these buildings. It assisted with firefighting and rescue operations, and also containing any hazardous materials or oil spills that occurred due to the fire.
How many displaced able to rescue?
I don't have a number on that. Possibly Sergeant Graham does.
How many people were at the borough center?
We're expecting approximately 55 to 60 overnight, but we know some folks also went to work and school, so that number could increase. And I also just want to take this moment to thank all of our partners that have been involved in this, including the Canal Alliance, American Red Cross, Salvation Army, and numerous others who have all stepped up in this time of need to support our community.
We know probably most of the people that live here are undocumented immigrants or just immigrants. So what are the resources available to them? And we want to make sure, regardless of the status, can they have access to these resources? And what is the message for this community?
Yeah, absolutely. We're not asking about immigration status as we work to support these residents, and are intentionally working with trusted community partners to help overcome any hurdles. And if anyone was impacted by this fire and hasn't yet come to seek assistance, please do so. We are just here to support you and help you with this recovery.
And just to clarify, are you asking everyone who was a resident here to check in so that you can get to the bottom of these 2 missing, or?
Yes, absolutely. So if anybody that lived at the residence, maybe they left early for work before the incident occurred, we ask that you please contact the San Rafael Police Department at 415-485-3000. Let us know that you're okay, so that we can get your name on the attendance that we've already taken about who's been displaced. And we also obviously want to get them resources as quickly as possible.
Do you know anything about the power? We saw some of the PG&E officials out here. Do you have any idea when
Answer that.
the power will be restored?
Yes.
And how long firefighters
Sure.
will be out here watching the building?
Yes, PG&E, one of our utility partners, responded immediately, both from their gas and electrical division. We had the electrical division secure the power lines overhead because we had deployed our ladder pipes. We didn't want any kind of an interference whatsoever or a risk to our firefighters. The power now is being turned on to the entire community in the surrounding area, with the exception of the stricken building.
Chief, the people who jumped into the water from the fire, escaped the flames, was that from balconies on the backside here?
I'm not sure if they jumped into the water specifically, but yes, they jumped and either landed probably on the ground behind the building and were then rescued and brought out to the front of the building and then treated and transported as needed.
How many people were there?
Well, we have 8 patients that were injured.
We heard that a neighbor has rescued several of them before the fire department got here.
That's likely. There probably were many self-rescues or neighbors helping them escape. It could be, yes.
How long did it take to get the fire under control?
It took an hour at least to get this fire under control. This was a well-involved three-story wood frame building that we had it contained within that hour, but it wasn't fully under control for about an hour.
You talked about oil, but is there any environmental impact to this canal?
Yeah, there's none whatsoever. The fireboat was able to deploy booms, but there was really no type of hazardous product that spilled into the creek.
And we heard from a neighbor that some of the water might have caused some damage to adjacent buildings and windows. Do you have any sense of those, kind of peripheral impacts?
There could be some minor peripheral impacts. I'm not certain right now. None has been brought to my attention, but we can certainly assist with those as needed.
Any other questions?
Have you been able to get inside yet?
Not yet. I'll let the fire chief speak to that.
We did have some fire crews that have been inside doing overhaul. The building is obviously in a very weakened state. We're concerned about structural collapse. We also had members of the fire investigation team in there as well doing their preliminary work on their investigation.
So you were able to find out that two missing people are not inside the building?
We have not confirmed that.
And what will you do about that? How will you make sure that they're not trapped inside?
We have an extensive amount of work still to do here, and we will be going back in through the remainder of the day, and part of the objective is to continue with a search.
No, shouldn't you already mentioned this, but the two people that are missing, are they related? Do we know if they were living in the same unit?
I have no information on that.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you. That'll conclude. Thank you.
Sergeant, are you planning another update later in the day?
As needed, but nothing scheduled at this time.
Thank you, Deputy. Thank you.
No one has arrived.
No.
I'll go ask about that. Sure.